In this video, I'm talking about how to be spiritual and rich. Before we get started, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell icon so you're notified every week when I really help us spiritual bitches have it all, because dear God, we do not need to beg for crumbs or compartmentalize. So I'm talking about how to be spiritual and rich today. This really came up. I talked to hundreds of women a week, like 500, workshops and clients. And Instagram and podcasts and YouTube, there's always women. And what came up really strongly this week was this limiting belief that I used to have, which was, I don't care about money. And the women that I'm speaking to actually really fucking care about money. They're actually obsessed with money. So when nobody's looking, it's like, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. And I know this because they have low self-worth. So the woman I'm talking to is like the old me, where we act like everything's fine on the outside and we make excuses about why not having what we want is okay. So this is how I was explaining it in my last workshop, and I have another one coming up, so I'll talk about that at the end. But there were women in there that were like, I have low self-worth, I'm totally settling, I'm not living up to my full potential, always worried about getting fat or being too fat or having to be perfect. I feel like there's not enough love. And so as soon as I hear, it's like instantly I can tell by an energy, but as soon as I hear that the scarcity, the not enough, and then someone's like, I don't care that I don't have any money, I'm like, fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. I know that secretly, or not on Instagram, that you are obsessing about it, because I used to do the same thing. Oh, I'm spiritual. I'm just a yoga teacher. I'm just a meditation teacher. I don't care about money. And I had some limiting beliefs. I'm shedding here. I had some limiting, get away, okay, beliefs that having money was selfish. One really gnarly one that I had was, in order to be successful, I had to be exhausted. I was like, okay, so here's the things that I want: money, a business, success, but here's what this means. I had broken beliefs. I had connected success and money to exhaustion, to overwhelming, to sickness, to negativity, to selfishness. And now I know, so in April, my partner and I have a business and we coach women all over the world. So we've changed thousands of lives, taught women how to have it all. You don't have to fucking settle. You don't have to beg for crumbs. Dear God, you don't have to compartmentalize. It's not that you can be spiritual and not sexy, or sexy and not spiritual, or spiritual and not rich, which specifically is what I'm talking about, but it really is all the same. So you might be bullshitting yourself with like, oh, I don't care about money because I'm spiritual. And I'm like, dude, are you settling? And then I guarantee that you have all of these parts in your life that you're dropping your standards in. So your body, your energy, your boundaries. If you don't go to bed at night and are like, yes, I fully did everything in my power today. I tried my best. I'm living my purpose. I am literally living my dreams. I literally am living in purpose. I've done everything I can to be the amazing woman, and I have no regrets. If you don't feel that way every night, then you are settling. So we're just really primed as a society to be like, oh, I can't have it all, so what will I give up to get this one thing? And I'm saying, don't fucking give anything up. There are so many men, like all of the people that I knew it were men. I was like, okay, so that man is spiritual, and they feel sexy, and they have money and a good relationship, and they're kind. Like, what the hell? Why can't I do that? Why, if I'm spiritual, do I have to be broke and tell everybody I don't care about money while I'm secretly freaking out and obsessed and feel like there's not enough? And then that has a negative effect on my body and my energy and my sleep. Like, it's just total bullshit. So the first thing I'm going to have you do, so we can break through the crap of I can't have it all, I have to pick and choose and beg for crumbs, is identify your limiting beliefs. So if I triggered you and you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, I used to say I don't care about money, but secretly I'm obsessing about it and super cheap and stingy. Or, yeah, I feel like being successful is like super overwhelming and exhausting. Or like a lot of my moms are like, oh, it's selfish because if I make more money, then I have to work more, and then I spend less time with my kids. And so if you have a negative connection to being rich and having money, you're never going to fucking do it. I don't want to be selfish. So I kept telling myself that people with money are selfish. So I didn't want to be selfish. That's like the worst thing that's the worst possible thing. The reason I wake up and give and stretch and literally give everything I can, I fly so close to the sun energetically, and we've donated more than we've ever made financially, because we're making more. It's not about the money, but I had such a negative belief to having money. I was like, oh, that's selfish, and I didn't want to be selfish, so I didn't have money. No mom wants to be selfish, so if they believe that being rich means less time with their kids, they're not going to do it. So it's not about the money. Money isn't real. It's not money. Like, it doesn't have to do with the money. When you are in survival mode, like I used to be, and like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna fucking eat or pay my rent today, we need a cop out, because we can't bear to go, well, maybe it's me. I was like, it's obviously the money's fault. If I took responsibility and was like, okay, hold on, this was what changed my life. I was like, okay, so really? Because you're saying that having money is selfish. So the definition of selfish in the way that I look at it is only worrying about myself. And when I was only worrying about myself, I was poor, I was depressed, I was insecure, I was negative, and I was bitchy. So I was a drain on everybody. I couldn't go ask my parents, hey, do you guys need help? I couldn't donate to Operation Underground Railroad, like Chris and I donate to every month to help free children from sex slavery. I couldn't donate to the Bali charities that are feeding Balinese families who don't have food right now because they're shut and they live off tourist money, and that's how they feed their families. I couldn't help my siblings pay their bills because they've been laid off. Like, when I thought about it, I was like, whoa. I'm sitting here going, I don't need money because that's selfish and I'm spiritual, when actually I was being selfish when I was only worrying about myself, and I was putting the pressure of me, and taking care of me on my family, and I wasn't helping anybody. And I will hear women sometimes be like, I don't have money and I'm sharing love. And I'm just like, how the fuck is that like your standards? There are so many people who, especially right now, are struggling. I've been talking about this a lot in my videos, and they can't pay their rent. So the first thing I do with my clients is I'm like, oh, you're complaining about not having enough when you have like so much more than most people now. Why don't you go around people with real problems and see what it really feels like to not have enough, to not have food, to not have a roof over your head? So I am not doubting that. And this is how I started. When I didn't have money to donate and I was first starting out, and I realized that my energy helped people, I was like, dude, I have energy. My energy helps people. I freaking called people up, not women, but not women who didn't want help, not women who were going to like fight the tools I was giving them, but women who I really knew wanted help. I fucking called them up and was like, dude, I can help you. I have these strategies. I have this extra energy. Let's do a free session. Let's do a follow-up, and let's do another session, and let's have a chat. Let's do a meditation. Like, that's how I started. But I sure as shit wasn't lying to myself saying, oh, I don't care about money. I knew that I wanted to help kids. I knew that I want to be able to take care of my parents when they can't work anymore. My grandma passed away without me ever being able to spoil her, and there's no fucking way that I'm going to let that happen again to any family member. Not going to happen. So if you sit here and go, and only a woman in scarcity with low standards and no self-worth would go, oh, fuck you, I don't care about money, I'm fine, while you're not fine, while you don't have an abundance of love to share, while your own temple is not on point, your energy, your relationships, your kids, your home, your job, well, that's not on point. Because once you understand that it's your vibe, it's your energy, that it is your birthright, and that there's more than that, there's an infinite amounts of energy, and money is just energy. And why would our standards be so low where we're like, I'm just gonna fucking pay my bills, fuck the kids that are starving, fuck the kids in sex slavery? Like, dude, that's so gnarly. We have hearts and compassion for a reason. And it's not like I'm running around going, knock, 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 I need to save every person. That's not how this works. But definitely, I know that I'm blessed, and I'm taking it upon myself to help kids who didn't have a chance, who can't help themselves. So to have standards that are so low, it's no different than this. And it's so crazy that we compartmentalize and act like if I said, hey, how are your standards in your relationship? And I said, here's what I heard a woman say this yesterday. Oh, well, I'm so grateful he doesn't fucking beat me. You would be like, that's not like, oh. I'd be like, hey, is that your goal for a relationship? So happy he doesn't beat you? You'd be like, no, that's really low fucking standards. And so there's no difference with money. That's like saying, hey, how's your body? Oh, I didn't die of a heart attack today, so doing great. I'd be like, low standards, bro. Like, pick the standards up. There's no difference. Every single thing is energy. And what I'm saying is, it's not that you're not good enough because you don't have money. I'm saying that you're so fucking worthy that you deserve to have money because money is just love and money is just energy, and we're powered by source, so we have an infinite access, an infinite connection to energy, therefore we have infinite access to money. It still so blows my mind that not that long ago, like 2 years ago, I was literally in survival mode. I mean, dude, my divorce, I don't know when you'll watch this video, but if you're like, whenever you watch this now, my divorce is just final. And that shows how close I am to the fucking rock bottom, to D-Day, to the worst time of my life. It's not like, oh, that was 15 years ago and now that's why Chris and I made 63,000 in April, which by the way, we made 63,000 US dollars in April. What the fuck? I didn't even know that was possible. And it's not the money, it's the energy, it's the love, it's the compassion, it's the connection, it's the universe. Like, I'm not special. I'm like, Mother Earth, wow, I can't believe you honor me and share this unconditional love with me. Like, I feel so fucking grateful. But every single human has this right. If your heart is beating, you have this right. But being this close to where my divorce is just final, being this close to the fucking bomb, and thriving this much because I've now instead go of money is something real and it's not part of me and I can't control it, and people with money are stingy. I've never had more love in my heart, and that is what our money is a reflection of. I have never had more confidence. I've never had higher boundaries. I've never felt more amazing. I've never felt sexier. My freaking sexual energy, damn, our sexual energy is through the roof. It's all connected. So to compartmentalize is begging for crumbs. If you hear what I'm saying, first of all, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what your new belief with money is. So instead of, oh, I don't care about money, like, dude, why would we put our standards so low where we don't want to help as many beautiful souls that deserve love and deserve to have a chance that we can? So my belief is money is energy, money is love, money is a reflection of my self-worth. Let me know in the comments what your new money mantra is. Don't compartmentalize anymore. Don't sell yourself short. Don't settle. If you wouldn't like be stoked to hear the person in your life that you care about the most say, oh, well, at least they don't fucking beat me and, me just having enough to pay my bill. Like, if you wouldn't be stoked to hear the person you love in the most say that, then why are you settling for that? Women, it is our birthright to be spiritual and rich. It is totally possible. The reason that I talk about this, every single one of my clients and all of my clients who do the work and rise up and have self-worth, they fucking make money because it's not separate. And they all say, wow, now my clients are starting to make money. Like, as soon as I heard you talk about it and I started making it and I started believing it was love, then I started talking about it with my clients and they started making money. And it's like, yeah, if I never talked about it, if I was ashamed of it or felt like, oh, how embarrassing, then none of my clients, which are all over the world, different ages, different businesses, different languages, none of them would have ever had the opportunity to do this because they were stuck begging for crumbs. And then they hear me go, you can have it all. Dude, it is awesome to be rich because you can totally share it forward and empower other women to do the same. If I didn't do that, my clients wouldn't have done that and their clients wouldn't have done that. So it's actually a gift when you see a woman who was so fucking poor 2 years ago, suicidal, at my rock bottom, literally could only afford 2 meals a day, couldn't afford dessert. Chris and I went to a date to the movies and we couldn't afford chocolate almonds, and I was like, fuck that shit. Like, I've said this on one of my other YouTube videos on how to manifest money. It was like, dude, I'm a grown-up. This is embarrassing. Like, there's probably 11-year-olds with allowance that can come and buy these chocolate almonds. My standards are so low. So the key to being spiritual and rich is having a positive relationship. And it's money doesn't get me out of bed. Like, I don't care. I'm not like, oh, I'm getting out of bed to make. What gets me out of bed is helping these kids, is being able to know that like I'm helping feed kids, I'm helping save kids' lives, that my clients are stopping their abusive cycles and they're healing their kids. That's what gets me out of bed. So I have a positive emotion. I have love connected to the energy of money. And if money triggers you, then just fucking call it love or just call it energy. Like there's anything negative, you're not going to do it. So I'm excited to see what your mantras are, your new money mantras are in the comments. And my biggest inspiration for you, from a girl who was so poor, almost died in a marriage, suicidal, couldn't even pay my fucking rent. My dad had to fly me out. I had not even enough money. I couldn't even get myself out. And then I was like, oh, can't pay my rent. From a girl that had such low standards and was living like a fucking rat. I literally was a disaster. I had no standards. I was helpless. I couldn't even take care of myself. To being where I am now in such a short time, I didn't get a new degree. I didn't win the lottery. I didn't all of a sudden become a tech genius and just like go work in the stock market. I fucking raised my standards, because money is a reflection of our self-worth, and your birthright queen is to have it all. And you don't have to settle, and barely making it's a story that you got from your parents, and it's not because anybody's wrong, but don't act like you're so like creative with your shitty money beliefs. It's like, okay, well, obviously you got that from your parents. How is it working out for them? If you don't want what they have, you need to try a new recipe. So if you need more, if you're like, then head to the comments now. In the description, I have a link to my free workshop. I'm going to help you bust open all of your ego beliefs, tell the ego to shut up, teach you how to receive unconditional love. I literally know that this will be one of the most incredible things you've done for yourself on your self-love journey this year. So head in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and hit the like button. It helps so, so much. And check out my other videos, because you can have a scroll. I know you have time. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Have a great day.